All right, for those of you on the live stream, welcome to the meeting. We have so far made it through to item F, public comment, and we're welcoming Dave Holterman for public comment tonight.
Good evening, everyone. As many of you know, my name is Dave Holterman. I am excited to be with you here tonight. I'm excited to be here to encourage this board to support the proposed lights on the soccer practice field at Children's Park. What is on the agenda today is really the fruit of a collaborative effort between the supporters of soccer here in Milton and willingness to listen on the part of Stephen Schatz, Jeff Spiewak, Ross McPherson, and Rich Dahman. As soccer families across the district know, we're one of the few sports that do not have a lighted practice facility within the district. These lights, should you choose to approve them, will not only allow the approximately 75 to 80 boys and girls in the junior varsity and varsity programs at the high school to expand their hours of practice, but will also provide additional playing time and practice time for the 400 to 450 participants in Milton Soccer Club's youth programs. Not only will this investment expand the hours available for practice in the spring and fall, but it will also give our players a chance to avoid the hottest practice hours of the day during the summer. Tonight I am here representing the culmination of many hours of collaborative work between Nick Minogue and David Cresswell and the board of the Milton Soccer Boosters, Tom Parsons and the board of the Milton Soccer Club, Dan Arnold and his team at the Bank of Milton, the board of directors at the Milton Fund, and myself and my team at First Community Bank. Together, these groups have pledged a total of $90,000 towards this goal. We're excited to not only make this investment on behalf of the youth players, but also on behalf of the youth players who will benefit from this investment for many years to come. It's with full support of these groups that I express thanks for including this project on your agenda tonight and to encourage the board to vote in support of Schilberg Lights Field, Schilberg Lights Practice Field. Lights at Schilberg Park Practice. With butchering up my last sentence, thank you for the time.
Thank you. And we're on to Red Hawk recognition. John will be sharing with that tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Annette. Honored to do this tonight. This will be our last night of recognition until the fall. With us tonight, we have two of the winners. Would Emily Weinert come up? Also Marissa Shear. So as I mentioned, we have two recipients tonight. First up, I'll start with Emily. Emily was nominated by Lo the Real Black. Lo wrote, "Emily is just a wonderful human and is like the glue holding everyone together. She is constantly making sure tasks are completed in order for the building to run smoothly. Emily impacts not only the staff, but the students as well, each and every day, and we are all very grateful for her." Emily, congratulations. Next up, Marissa. Marissa was nominated by Jennifer Sheedy. Jennifer wrote, "Marissa Shear is an outstanding special education paraeducator who goes above and beyond to support the students in the school district of Milton. She brings creativity, patience, and a deep sense of care to everything she does, always finding fun and engaging ways to connect with her students. Marissa takes the time to truly get to know each child, using their individual interests to build meaningful connections and support their learning. Calm, dependable, and collaborative, she is a true team player. We are so lucky to have her."
And thank you to both of you for all you do. Thank you. And we will move on to Red Hawk highlights.
There are a few things that I want to highlight, excuse me. As we close out of this school year, congratulations to all of our students and staff for another amazing year. We had our graduation ceremony on June 1st, and 264 students have received their degree from Milton High School. In late May, there were 16 Red Hawk students that were honored at the Southern Lakes Anthology Recognition Program, which recognizes creative writing and artwork that was published in this year's anthology. The Southern Lakes Anthology selected work from students in grades K through 8 across all of southeastern Wisconsin. And the theme this year was the power of blank. And then students could fill in the blank and write their stories. Our Redhawks were selected for their imaginative stories, prose, and also illustrations. So congratulations to those students. Milton High School Red Hawk Racing students competed for the first time at Road America in their Gen 1 Formula Car. The high schoolers design, build, and race the vehicles in a time trial competition. They will also be competing again in Madison this fall. And congratulations to the Red Hawk Racers and to their advisor, Mason Pouch. We have several spring sports related highlights. The softball team won the regional championship. The boys golf team advanced to the state tournament where they're competing today and tomorrow. The baseball team won the regional championship and will be playing their sectional game at Oregon High School at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And if they win that game, then their second game is tomorrow at 4 p.m. So congratulations to those 3 teams for advancing, and also to all of our spring sport athletes, coaches, for all of the work that they put in. Milton Girls Wrestling Team made history as the first ever team state champion in the WIAA's newly established girls wrestling division. And I'm sharing that now because to commemorate that achievement, last week, State Rep Brienne Brown presented an official proclamation recognizing our girls wrestling team's strength, dedication, and the barriers that they've broken for future athletes. Pictures from that event are on our district social media page. And lastly, today was the first day of summer school, so we took a short weekend break and now right back at it with summer school. So hats off to Sarah Stuckey for all of the planning and the work that goes in to design the courses, get students registered, hire teachers, and to all of our admin team for the work that they do, and our teachers for the work that they do throughout the summer through summer school.
I would also add to Carrie for posting some lovely pictures of the kids. I mean, they were, I was at the school too this morning, and they were almost all of them were so excited. I had to catch myself. There were, and the pictures she shared online today were just, shared the spirit of what it was like this morning. So thank you for that. All right, we are on to policy committee report. Rick?
Thank you. And the policy committee met on May 27th. The one item on our agenda is the first reading of a new Neola Policy 5411, third grade promotion and retention at-risk students. The entire draft of this new policy is included in board docs. We've all heard of Act 20, which was enacted in 2023 to improve literacy in Wisconsin. Part of Act 20 states that districts must have a policy in place regarding promoting students from 3rd to 4th grade. This new policy 5411 contains guidelines that the district will follow when considering promotion of 3rd graders. These guidelines include information to be used and steps to be taken while taking into consideration the needs and interests of each individual student. This is a time-sensitive topic as the district is required to adopt the policy by July 1st, but enforcement will be delayed until September 1st, 2027, as stated in the draft. The policy will be brought back to our next meeting on June 23rd for possible approval and adoption. And Sarah and Julie are here tonight to answer any questions that any board members may have.
Any questions for Sarah? Anything Sarah and Julie you want to add?
Were there any questions or concerns that were raised at the committee about the board that was in attendance?
I didn't really have a question. I guess I did. The question was, why are we waiting until 2027? And Sarah and Julie explained the amount of effort and time that it takes to go into these reading plans and just to get the process down. Plus, that's the state statute that allows us to go that far out. So it's a lot of work they do to put all this stuff together. So.
It's related to summer school, so part of the plan is for the promotion, you have to have an intensive summer school program. So that's why it's allowing kind of this couple years to really figure out what that intensive summer school program will look like. So Sarah Stuckey and I will be actually meeting, because we're actually gonna probably roll it out next summer, before it's
Julie,
required.
can I have you, do I need her to go to the mic, Carrie?
It's ideal, so
Can I have you go to the mic for the, thank you, because I think it's important that people understand.
So it's allowing us to have about 2 years, because of the intensive summer school program. So when you're looking at a child that's at risk, not meeting being proficient readers by the time they leave 3rd grade, their reading plan goes with them to 4th grade. But as part of that plan, you really have to look at what does intensive summer school look like for that particular child, who we are, looking at promotion, and surrounding supports to make sure that they become proficient readers. So Sarah Stuckey and I actually have plans to plan that out for this upcoming next summer, prior to that September 1st, 2027, because then really that summer school doesn't happen until 2028. Because it goes into, the policy goes into effect of September 1st of 2027. So we will already have it in place.
Is there any foresight to that this would be expanded to any other grades, like an 8th grade is it just right now, it's just focused on that 3rd grade?
Right now, it's 3rd grade promoting, and that was a question I think Rick had asked, why 3rd grade? Because, ultimately, we want all of our scholars in 3rd grade to be proficient by the time they leave 3rd grade into 4th grade. So that is where that early literacy foundational skills should be instilled so that they become proficient readers. So right now, it's a K3. More than likely, directors have been talking that more than likely they'll probably expect to a K5.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, so hopefully this will be an action item at our next meeting. So moving on to new business, Michael has a wellness update for us.
Thank you, Annette. Both of my presentations tonight are just informative. There's no action for the board tonight. So wellness highlights for the year. The Wellness Committee continues to have a very small but active core group. We met several times this school year. I really want to thank them for being on the committee. It's hard to get people to be on a committee and take that extra time to be there. So I think it's really important to highlight their involvement and coming. So I hope they come back next year. So just want to highlight again, on Saturday, February 22nd, we held our first ever community swim. Mrs. Stuckey shared that information with the board on the 24th, but I wanted to reshare as it was a very positive event for our students, our families, and our community members that came on that evening, or afternoon, I guess. It was a Saturday afternoon. So it was a free event. We did ask folks if they were able to bring a healthy snack, which was kind of their admittance to get into the pool, and many did. So we were able to take those snacks and then donate them to all of our schools in the offices, so they had snacks to give our students if they came and they were hungry. Certain snacks were diabetic friendly, so we made sure we gave those to the nurses and the health aides, so they had those for our diabetic students as well. So it was a great success, and we're planning on doing it again next year. And when we meet in September next, we'll be kind of figuring out the date for that. So this year again, we were down at the Milton Community Days on May 9th. I saw several of you down there. You stopped by the booth, so thank you for doing that. We provided wellness ideas for families as well as community members that stopped by the booths. We had different resources available for those that needed it. Just as an example, we had a resource board, and on the board was information on the Milton Food Pantry. So people could either snap with their phone the QR code, or we had actually pieces of paper they could take home with all that information on it as well. So we had goodie bags from the Fort Healthcare team, which our district nurses were able to get for us. We're hoping to meet again starting in September, so kind of look for that. If you need more information on the Wellness Committee, we're always looking for new members. You can be from the community or you can be from the school district. Students are welcome as well as staff. So,
Thank you
any
so much.
questions?
Michael, how many members do you currently have with the committee?
I think there's 6 of us, 7 of us.
What's your ideal number? As many as possible?
Years ago when we started, we were, started to back up, I think we were in the 40s. So more never hurts because lots of things come up in people's lives and they can't always make every meeting. So I think our smallest meeting this year was 3 of us, but we're there, we're dedicated, so.
See if we can gather some people.
Any other questions? All right, we're on to your nutrition team highlights.
Thank you. All right, so another year is behind us in the books. This year we continue to menu and serve different varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables to our students. Cucumber seems to be the lucky winner for the K-6 area. And then when you get to the older kids, it's probably just the romaine salad. So broccoli is probably the lowest. So we continue to menu a few new items. We usually start at the high school with those new items and see how they roll over with the high school students, and then we look at how we can incorporate those in our K-6, K-8 grade groups. So a few examples we started with this year was the ramen chicken salad, which is a cold chicken salad made with ramen noodles. It went over fairly well at the high school, so we're gonna look to see how we can incorporate that starting at the middle school next year, and then we'll work our way down the north side and we'll keep going. A few other things we incorporated this year were fruit parfaits. So we got those down to the middle school this year as well as the high school, and egg rolls, burritos, and a few new flavors of PBJs went over as well. So we'll continue to explore new ideas every year. Look at what we can do to get those in smaller schools to try them down there as well. So we're exploring and researching how we can add a second entree choice to our K-3 schools. Right now they only have one choice when they come through the line, so we're trying to figure out how we can adapt and possibly offer a second choice to give parents more flexibility in choosing our program versus packing their lunch at home. So this was the first year of using our new menu software program, Healthy Pro. You can check that out on our district website. So that gave the parents, students, and district nurses the ability to go in and click on the food product, see what kind of ingredients are in there. Talked about the calories, sodium, fat content. For our district nurses, it was helpful because it gave them all the carb counts. So they were able to look those up without calling me to ask what was in it. So that was very helpful for my end of the world too. So overall, lots of good feedback from the first year. On the backside, it allows us to put our production records into the cloud, one might say. It gives us a little easier ability to look up what we did the last time so we can track trends. And then it assists me when I'm writing the menus to make sure that our menus are USDA compliant, which is very important. So in alignment with our strategic plan under the operations and facilities code, we made some equipment improvements in our school kitchens this school year. We added a new warming unit in Harmony and a new freezer on the last day of school at middle school. So we're planning for some equipment upgrades for next school year as well. We're looking at doing an oven replacement at West and a new double stack oven replacement at the high school. So all the pieces we're replacing, we're ending the end of their life cycle. So this school year, we served over 46,000 breakfasts, 275,000 cartons of milk, and a little over 208,000 lunches were served. So I'd just like to thank our students and our parents for supporting our program, because your support helps us to keep all of our staff employed. So we appreciate it. Questions?
I just offer a thank you. What you guys do is awesome. It's a lot of hard work goes into it, so I really appreciate it. And I did catch the north side, I think it was, going away video, the dancing. I thought that was great. So kudos to those people who have that courage to get up, sing and dance in front of the students. That was pretty cool.
Yes, all staff are encouraged to join their teams at each of the school locations since they're part of that team. So, yeah, definitely encourage my staff to participate when it's happening.
Pretty cool.
Great, thank you so much, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And we are on to Stephen, discussion and possible action on Shelburne Park soccer field lighting project.
Thank you, Annette. And thanks for the lead in, Dave. Great setup for this topic here. So just wanted to kind of recap the last time we talked about this topic at the previous board meeting. We went back and we were able to fully develop the project with Musco Lighting. And we were able to work with Dave and the booster groups on setting a fundraising goal for funding this project. And we were able to get 3 labor bids back on the project, with Peeper Power being the lowest on the labor portion of it. Musco Lighting was the material and lighting provider we specified out to match what else we've done in the district. And we came slightly over what the projected budget was. It was a 175 to 190 at the time of the project's initial development. And the final cost was $193,600, with the booster groups, soccer club, the banks, and the Milton Community Fund generously coming up with $90,000 to contribute towards the project. That leaves $103,600 to be funded by our Fund 80 fund balance, which we discussed was at a level that we would feel comfortable making that contribution out of Fund 80 fund balance to support this project. And should the board approve the project here tonight, we would enter into contracts with Musco and Peeper Power to be able to procure the lighting and electrical equipment. Some of the electrical equipment is up to 20 to 26 weeks lead time. So ideal conditions to do an installation of this project would be in the winter anyway. Least invasive time is when frost is in the ground, just like we did with baseball diamond this last year. So then hopefully everything will be in place for the soccer groups to start using in the spring of 2026. So again, I want to thank Dave and all the work that he did to help on the fundraising effort, and looking forward to moving this project forward.
Questions?
Steve, I also want to thank you and Dave and everyone who's involved in all this fundraising. This is a community effort. I also think it's long overdue, but it'll be here for many kids for many years to come. So thanks to everyone involved in this. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to authorize the low bidder on the project, Musco Lighting and Peeper Power, to proceed with the soccer field lighting project at Shelburne Park.
Second.
I have a motion from Rick and a second from Joe. Any other questions?
Yes. So the 2 companies that you're engaging with, Peeper, you said, and Musco.
Yes.
There's a history with the district, confidence with the work that they do.
Yes, very much so. So Musco is really, all the field lighting that we have in the district is Musco Lighting, and Musco is the lighting provider that just did the baseball field behind the high school. And Peeper Power was the installing contractor at that field too. They did an absolutely wonderful job. They have 100% confidence in their work.
Okay, and there's no risk of going above this quote. Again, you think of tariffs, you think of, trying to get, items in, so this is the cap.
Yep, everything, I forget the terms of it, I think it was like a 30-day deal
To lock in that rate.
Submitted to lock it in, and even with the lead times being that long, once we sign the contract, we're good to go for whatever material pricing volatility that might be there. It would be affecting our project.
I just want to say thank you to the community and to yourself as well. My kid's been a soccer kid, it's a little been on the field in the dark, and so I think it's great for the community for the amount of kids that play, and to help out obviously our high school students as well during those summer months. So I thank you for that.
One thing I didn't mention too, just to add to it, is that in working with Alliant Energy on providing a new electrical service to support this project, we are sizing it appropriately, which really isn't any extra cost to support possible future fields to be lit too, because there's really 3 possibilities of fields to be lit. So we figured we might as well size our head-end infrastructure appropriately to support that down the road should that need ever come to fruition.
Do we still have the ability to, or do you still have the ability to control the lights with your cell phone?
But it's fantastic.
Who all will have access to that?
So we will set up, we'll go through the process, we'll set up, the soccer boosters, and, obviously all the high school coaches would have that access, the athletic director, Jeff Spilak, would have access to do it. We would work with like Tom Parsons and the soccer club to make sure that he has access with whatever coaches will be practicing at nighttime. The nice part is that I would be as the administrator of the account, if somebody turns it on, leaves, gets to turn it off, we kind of have a kill time, which would be at like 10, whatever we end up setting that as. So it doesn't make me feel so bad when I come in there's always 1 or 2 mornings every year where somebody practices or does something at Schilberg Park and the lights are on all night long in the football field or whatever. This new technology lets us, have a bit more control of it, which is nice. But yes, it is
Great.
wonderful to turn on your phone.
Pretty cool.
And I think a safety thing too, if we're leaving the football fields and the last coach is the one that's gotta turn the lights off and you gotta figure out where you're parked in
Yeah.
pitch darkness. So I think that's a wonderful piece of technology.
Just one, first of all, 100% support, thank you to everybody, just let the rest of them. Stephen or Richard, even Ross, could you just expand on that for the people watching home? 180, I think that's significant because this is not impacting our students. There's importance to where this money's coming from.
I'll let Ross take that.
Yeah, thanks for the question. So Fund 80 is a community services fund through the Department of Public Instruction. It's designed for peer community benefit, meaning that the funding we raise and expense in that fund are not tied to instruction. And since we operate in semi-unique situations in Milton, we have 2 parks that we manage wholly by the school district for the benefit of the community. One of those being Schilberg, and since the lighting program would be on that park, Fund 80 is well within the planning for use of those funds. And the balance we're sitting on 80 right now is, in my opinion, a perfect example of what that should be used for when these projects come up. That are not annual maintenance that we've discussed in February.
You could say it better than I could.
Thank you. Any other,
Just one more thing that I want to share. I know that Rick thanked him, but I also want to thank Dave Holtman. Dave really is the person that got this rolling this spring and worked with both folks here at the school district and with the donors and kind of tied all of that together. So thank you very much, Dave, for all the time that you put in.
anything else? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There you go, motion carries. You're gonna get lights. And we are on to Ross for the membership audit report.
Hi, Ben. Tonight, we have an audit for you as an informational piece. It's a membership audit that most school districts see every 3 to 4 years. State statute requires that 25% of all school districts have a membership audit to make sure the accounting protocol is up to date, up to speed, and that we're not missing any students, or that there's not any major discrepancies with information reported from other districts. As it also goes through the reconciliation process of looking at open enrollment kids in and out, how we report them to our neighboring districts, et cetera. So this is an informational item. For those of you who have not seen this before, it might be curious why this is coming up in the middle of the year. We're usually notified annually if we're on the short list straw where we actually have to perform membership audit. I know this was Chelsea's first year doing the membership audit and helping out with Johnson Block as they came in. Once DPI notifies us, we're set up with our audit partners, in this case Johnson Block, to go through the items in this section. We have the item on the screen or in front of you on your own device. The audit that you're seeing here is a good report. We don't have anything that wasn't ready at the time of the audit. There were some student count numbers adjusted. In the public version of this document, we don't have attachment 2, which is notated in the document because it involves student names. But the discrepancies that were identified in the findings area of this report are referencing families that were living in the district at one point and moved out after the count date. So they were forced to move from a resident district to a non-resident status for our count. So that encompasses the entire discrepancy in the report. Other than that, kudos to Chelsea for really pulling in some work to work with our audit team and When I met with the audit partner this year, we had a good discussion about how things went, and I'm happy. Hopefully, be able to be done for another 4 years.
Questions for Ross? All right,
Thank you.
thank you. And we are moving on to board development. And so in discussions with Rich, I reached out to WASB, our the professional organization for the school board, to talk to them about if there were some things we could do to do some professional development for the board. And they identified that they have a survey, a board development tool survey that we can take, and it is a self-evaluation of us as a board and how we're doing, how we're able to have discussions, how we're aligning to our work, and if there are additional things that we could be working on. And so I told them that that would be something we'd be interested in. So I'm going to be sending you that survey and ask that you complete it within the next 2 weeks. And it's anonymous. I don't get to see who it is. Rich doesn't get to see who it is. We do get our aggregate data. And so we'll have access to that. And we will also get a summary that WASB will put together for us of the results. After we have completed that survey, I've asked WASB to help us do a summary of how we're doing and how that aligns to our strategic plan, how that aligns to our data from our data workshop, which we will also be having in July, and kind of take a bunch of data and think about how we're doing as a board, how we're doing to support that work, and if there are other things we could be helping and assisting with. And so in early to mid-August, they're going to come in and do a 2-hour session with us and just work through the data. And so when we get to the meeting things, Rich will be working with us to set up a date for that. And again, it would be a 2-hour session led by a WASB consultant. So I'm asking you to hopefully do that survey. I did it today. They told me it would take about 20 minutes. It took me about 10. So it's a pretty easy survey, and there's that area in there for open answers if there's additional data that you would like us to think about as a board. And I hope that you all will be able to take time or find the time to do that survey. Any questions on that? Yeah, Tracy?
Just from a cyber security perspective, so how will the survey come? Because I don't click on links. The most difficult to.
I will be sending it to you. It'll come directly from you to your school email.
Okay.
And it will be signed by WASB.
Okay, perfect.
And we've already have access, Rich and I have access to the aggregate data already and the information. Yeah, please don't click on random links.
Thank you.
Hence, I'm telling you, and I will send it to you. You should get it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
If you get something tonight, that's not me. It will be in the morning.
Thank you.
Do in 2 weeks.
Due on the 20th, June 20th, please. And I'll put that in the email for you. Other questions? I appreciate your time. I appreciate you participating in some development for us as a team. All right, we are on to new committees and members. And so at our last meeting, we talked about committee assignments. The committee assignments are there and attached in the document. Any questions or comments on the assignments? I know Chelsea's been busy setting up meetings, so.
So I have a question on governance, and that's gonna include policy.
Yes.
And Rick just had a policy meeting, and they did a first reading, so we wanna finish that one and then hand off, or do we wanna?
Yeah, I sure think we'll finish that one up and hand off.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we typically haven't had a second committee meeting for second read unless the committee had something specific that they wanted to. So we wouldn't plan a second read for the one policy that we brought. We would just put it on the board agenda for the next board meeting for discussion and possible action. And then I have it on my list for upcoming meetings, but while that topic came up, we are looking at scheduling a governance committee meeting to look at some policies that we've been working on this spring and are looking at some dates in July. So Chelsea will be reaching out to the Governance Committee for some possible dates in July for that meeting.
So that would be the new committee, I would imagine.
Yes, that would be the meeting. Anything moving forward now would be governance committee structure. Any other questions? Appreciate that. The next item is the board meeting calendar, and Joe had a question at the last meeting that I said Rich and I would sit down and discuss, and we did. We went through the calendar, and at this point in time, we're gonna keep the calendar as it's set with 2 meetings per month. We talked through workload balance as well as the need for summer hiring and being able to have action on those items and staffing throughout the summer. It's 2 meetings that we probably would have had to change, but for this summer, we're gonna keep it as it is. So thank you, Joe, for bringing that up. We had a pretty good discussion around it, and that's how we'll continue for this year. And that takes us to staffing. Actions on the any questions? I'm sorry, questions on the calendar before I move on? All right, that takes us to action on staffing reports.
I'll move to approve the staffing report as presented.
Second.
So I have a motion from John, and Jen, was that you that said second? It was Tracy that said second. A second from Tracy. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Gifts and donations.
I'll make a motion to approve the gifts and donations of gratitude.
Second.
I have a motion from Rick, a second from John. Any questions or comments on the gifts and donations? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, we are on to meeting dates.
Our next regularly scheduled board meeting is on Monday, June 23rd, at our regular time and location, 6:30 here in the PDC. We have a couple committee meetings that are scheduled. A finance committee meeting on Thursday, June 12th at 5:30 p.m. in the first floor conference room. An HR committee meeting on Tuesday, June 17th at 12:30 in the first floor conference room. And our community-wide school finance and budget presentation and Q&A session is on Tuesday, July 15th at 6:30 p.m. And I mentioned earlier that we'll send out some possible dates in July for a governance committee meeting.
And then the meeting in August for the WASB consultant.
Yeah, Monday, August 18th. And a 6:30 start for that.
And let's, Chelsea, could you send that out to the whole board to see if that may work for people? Sure.
That is in between the two, it's the Monday between the 2 regular board meetings in August.
Chelsea, could you please send out an invite for that July 15th one? Thanks.
Anything else on meetings?
I have a question, Madam President. So Chelsea had invited us to a finance committee meeting Thursday. Then there was an invite from you that was canceled.
Yeah,
What is that?
that was I put it on my own calendar and accidentally included the past committee in it, and I apologize for that. And so then I
Because the
canceled.
hours differed from what
Yeah,
Chelsea had
Chelsea
sent
was
out there,
right.
so.
Chelsea was absolutely right. It was a mistake made on my part, and I apologize. Any other questions?
I would just like to say for the finance committee, for the meeting on the 12th, thank you for your flexibility for us.
Did I not sleep good?
I appreciate it.
And I'm going to be out that day, so I won't be at that finance committee meeting, but the committee will be in good hands with Ross.
Sleepy Ross.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second
that.
I have a motion from Tracy and a second from Rick. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you all. Thank you.